One day, Lu Xuan bound a check.in system. First successful check.in, rewards are being distributed. Immortal temperament. 100 million renminbi, the richest fiancé AE. Please check in at the foot bath shop. Clock in reward. Satisfy the host's wish, any wish is fine. At the beginning, he signed in with his fiancée AE, and Lu Xuan had slowly reached the pinnacle of his life. Single female lead, relaxed and humorous daily articles, read with peace of mind. Keywords of the novel. No pop-up window for the opening check.in of the Richest Fiancé AE, complete download of the opening check.in of the Richest Fiancé AE TXT, latest chapter reading for the opening check.in of the Richest Fiancé AE, Chapter 1. Check-in and clock-in system. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Check-in and clock-in system. A lonely crescent moon hangs high on the night sky, without even a single star around. Magic Theater. Graduation performance. Look, Lu Xuan is really here. What else did he come here for? His girlfriend was robbed and even the roles he got were changed. Luo Lily and Chen Xiao are also present at the scene. Isn't it embarrassing to come over here? Damn it, the character is gone, and now even my girlfriend is gone. Isn't there still a big green hat here? The students around whispered and looked at a tall and straight guy. The boy is very handsome. In addition to his height of 186, he also has a perfect and impeccable handsome face. His nose is tall and straight, and his eyes, like the vast starry sky, are irresistible to fall into. Unfortunately, this boy is nothing but handsome. The divine level check.in and clock-in system is currently being bound and binding progress 10%. The system has finally arrived. Lu Xuan finally breathed a sigh of relief when he saw the 2 lines of subtitles appearing in front of him. He actually just crossed over to this world. He thought the original owner of this body was so handsome, and his family background was definitely not much different. So he used his palace fighting skills to prepare for the beginning of a wave of family struggles to boost his excitement. However, Lu Xuan thought too much. The family background of this person is as ordinary as most people. Half of the monthly living expenses of 2,000 yuan are spent on his girlfriend, who eats mantou and pickles at the end of the month. In the end, the girlfriend still ran away with the wealthy second generation, and even the character she obtained was temporarily changed by the director. After sorting out these things, Lu Xuan, who had traveled through time, could only curse in secret. Due to his handsome appearance, Lu Xuan had no choice but to endure and plan to use the original world's novel script to make himself famous, so that he could step back in the future when he had money and power. Now, it's different. The system is here, the cheat has been credited to the account. Who steps on a horse and says that it's not too late for a gentleman to seek revenge for 10 years? I seek revenge from morning till night. Binding successful, host. Lu Xuan, height. 186 centimeters, appearance. 96 points, temperament. 59 points, balance. 439 renminbi and 60 cents, Lu Xuan. What? Little question mark, do you have many friends? Why, you have such a high appearance but such a low temperament. Please complete the first check.in for the host. Lu Xuan silently recited check.in in his heart. First successful check.in, rewards are being distributed. Immortal temperament. The temperament is already full. Fiancé Lu Xuan was confused on the spot, and he could still understand his temperament. What kind of ghost is his fiancé AE? I am so handsome, and I intended to use this face to seduce beautiful ladies. Can you give me a fiancé AE now? My mentality is a bit broken. Just as Lu Xuan stood still in a daze, many people around him looked at him with a lost expression. For some reason, everyone suddenly felt that Lu Xuan had undergone a earth-shattering transformation. Even though his whole body was covered in a certain treasure, it gave people a feeling of being banished to the mortal world. He can simply stand there and make all the men around him pale, becoming a supporting green leaf. On Lu Xuan, there seemed to be a built-in radiance that made the students, teachers, school leaders, popular artists, and well-known directors who were originally watching stage performances. Everyone's gaze couldn't help but fall on Lu Xuan. Coincidentally, the two performers on stage happened to be Luo Lili and Chen Xiao. That is, the ex-girlfriend of the original owner of Lu Xuan's body, as well as the wealthy second generation in the same class. Everyone was watching Lu Xuan, and no one cared about the two people performing on stage, causing them to stand on stage in embarrassment and filled their hearts with resentment towards Lu Xuan. What's so beautiful about this poor ghost? It's just a face, isn't it? Luo Lili gritted her teeth and said in a very low voice. Chen Xiao's eyes also flashed with a hint of gloom, and he comforted in a low voice, "Baby, don't be angry. I'll help you kill him later." As the focus of all the audience below was on Lu Xuan, the two of them had to hastily end their performance and run back to the backstage in embarrassment. At this moment, Lu Xuan also noticed everyone's eyes and wondered, "Why are everyone looking at me? Please host to clock in on stage." Remaining time: 09 minutes and 59 seconds. Check-in rewards. Parallel World Song, Quiet, Piano Song, to Alice. Lu Xuan was lost on the spot. Only 2 songs were awarded as a check-in reward. Where's the money? Money is there. Money. Other systems can easily reach billions. Is your system that poor? What kind of system are you using without money? I even thought about using money to smash that dog man and woman when I stepped on the horse. Despite his inner madness, Lu Xuan still showed a calm expression on his face, at least to match his own demeanor as a banished immortal. Xian. That is aloof and calm. Lifting your hands and feet can make you feel unparalleled. Fortunately, he graduated from the performance department, and in terms of his major, Lu Xuan has never hesitated. Just as Lu Xuan was about to walk onto the stage, he happened to encounter Luo Lili and Chen Xiao coming out from the backstage. Luo Lili looked at Lu Xuan with a resentful gaze. If it weren't for this dead poor guy, how could she step down so early? Why, Lu Xuan, are you specifically waiting for me here? I've told you 10,000 times that you and I are just playing, and Chen Chen and I are true love. Don't bother me again in the future, Luo Lili said impatiently. Lu Xuan. To be honest, I feel a bit nauseous. You put. As soon as Lu Xuan spoke, Chen Xiao next to him interrupted, Lu Xuan, Lili is now my girlfriend. You can't give her the happiness she wants, but I can give her. Please don't appear in front of us again in the future. Thank you. Luo Lili sighed and said, alas, I don't even know how I used to be with people like this. I didn't have the money, the ability, and even the gift. I was really blind at that time. Chen Xiao immediately looked at Luo Lili with a spoiled gaze and said softly, Lili, don't worry, I will love you twice as much in the future. I will never let you suffer any injustice, let alone let this scumbag appear in front of you again. Well, you're so kind in the morning. Luo Lili nestled happily in the arms of Chen Xiao. Many students around are watching a play, some are gloating, some sympathize with pity, and some secretly curse as they deserve. Lu Xuan, you better hurry up and leave. If you continue to stay, you will only lose face. Lili is already a young man in the morning, and any attempt to save her will be in vain, said someone next to her. Who said I'm going to save it? Lu Xuan was speechless and said, 2 years. 2 years. Do you know how I've been living these 2 years? Lili, I've been tired of playing for a long time. Now someone has come out to take over the game, and I can even laugh out loud in my dreams. As soon as they finished speaking, everyone looked at Lu Xuan with a shocked expression. Be good, this is too showy, isn't it? Originally, everyone was waiting to see Lu Xuan's joke, but who knew that Lu Xuan had turned against him? Chen Xiao's face was gloomy and unsightly, with flames spewing out of his eyes. This guy was clearly saying he was a receiver. What could be more shameful than that? However, Lu Xuan leaned over to Chen Xiao's side, his mouth slightly raised, and with a voice that only two people could hear, he chuckled lightly and said, "By the way, your girlfriend is amazing. 2 years. 2 years. Do you know how I've been living these 2 years? I kowtow here every day, begging for the recommended tickets from all the readers, and my forehead is bleeding. Requesting recommended tickets." End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Beautiful Women. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Beautiful Women. As soon as the words fell, Chen Xiao's whole body was trembling. Trembling with anger. "Lu Xuan, I'll kill you." Chen Xiao was blinded by the anger and reached out to grab Lu Xuan's collar, ready to punch his annoying face. When did he suffer such humiliation? What infuriated him even more was that in his eyes, the poor boy Lu Xuan dared to say such things to him. "Zhou Chen, stop it." A teacher was right beside him, quick-eyed and quick-witted, and quickly pulled Chen Xiao away from them. Seeing a conflict arising here, many teachers and classmates came up to block in the middle, urging the two to remain calm. After all, the people watching the graduation performance tonight are not only school leaders, but also popular artists, well-known directors in the entertainment industry, and some wealthy investors. If Lu Xuan and Zhou Chen really start fighting here, the magic drama may make headlines tomorrow, and some media may even question the school culture of the magic drama. The school doesn't want to see this unnecessary trouble at all. Luo Lily was also startled. She didn't even know why Zhou Chen suddenly went berserk and even developed to the point of wanting to take action. "Calm down, Chen Chen, calm down a bit. Let's not have the same view as such people." Luo Lily quickly came up to comfort Zhou Chen. Zhou Chen's chest was heaving violently, his eyes filled with anger, staring fixedly at Lu Xuan. The teacher also advised, "Zhou Chen, calm down a bit. If there's anything we can say, we can talk it over. There's no need to take action. Teacher Chen, you don't know exactly what he said to me. If you hear this, you will also be angry." Zhou Chen gritted his teeth and said, "What words?" Teacher Chen was taken aback and asked subconsciously. "You." Zhou Chen instinctively spoke up and quickly stopped because he felt that this sentence was somewhat vulgar. "What are you saying?" "You're saying it." Teacher Chen was also a bit anxious, not sure if half of it would make people curious. Zhou Chen was already very headstrong. When he heard Teacher Chen's words, he ignored them and directly said, "Your girlfriend is really amazing." Teacher Chen was really stunned now. After being stunned, he wanted to have a meal every morning. "Are you stepping on a horse to rebel against the heavenly gang? You can speak such words too." But Teacher Chen cannot be discouraged by Zhou Chen. After all, Zhou Chen's identity is also there, and there may be opportunities for cooperation in the future. So Teacher Chen's gaze turned to Lu Xuan, his gaze sharp, and he questioned, "Lu Xuan, did you really say such things?" "Well, it seems so," Lu Xuan nodded and admitted honestly. Teacher Chen angrily rebuked, "What is the occasion here? How dare you say such vulgar language in the theater? Come over and apologize to Zhou Chen. The Magic Theater is a sacred place in the hearts of every artist, because their first stage is here." Lu Xuan said innocently, "Teacher Chen, what I said is also true. Are you right?" This time it was Teacher Chen's turn to take the lead, pointing at Lu Xuan's nose and angrily walking over, scolding, "First, you were humiliating your classmates, and you were wrong. Second, you were corrupting the school's culture and ethics, and you were also wrong. Third, after making a mistake, you still knew your mistake and didn't change it, and it was even a big mistake." Lu Xuan was stunned. "I inexplicably carried so many charges. Do I still have to be pulled and shot?" Lu Xuan said helplessly, "Teacher Chen, please listen to my explanation." "I won't listen." Teacher Chen shouted, "Now, immediately, go apologize to Zhou Chen. Teacher Chen, can we talk logically? Lu Xuan said speechlessly, Luo Lily is my ex-girlfriend. When I said this to Zhou Chen, it was purely from the perspective of past people to praise her. The meaning of the word stick is good, and what I mean is that Luo Lily is very good. I hope Zhou Chen won't let her down. Is this still wrong? Zhou Chen angrily rebuked, don't argue here, is it a shame? You know it best in your own heart. Are you clear that when you attacked or even threatened to kill me just now, you had already violated the law? Lu Xuan said calmly, verbal threats to others' personal safety are illegal acts. With so many teachers, students, leaders, and celebrities present, I believe they will all testify to this matter. As he spoke, Lu Xuan took out his phone and smiled, I can call the police now, let the public handle this matter, and ask if I need to apologize for all my actions just now. Teacher Chen's eyes sharpened and he shouted, how dare you? Do you still want your graduation certificate? Lu Xuan raised his mouth slightly and began to call the police. Lu Xuan. Are you going to rebel? Teacher Chen shouted loudly, coming up to snatch Lu Xuan's phone. In his opinion, such a small matter doesn't need to disturb the public at all, and it will also bring great trouble to the school. He may even receive criticism from the principal. Even he himself knew very well that once the public asked, the people present would never lie, and Zhou Chen would eventually receive a warning and punishment. Lu Xuan smiled and didn't even hide. He directly extended his phone forward and said, come on, Teacher Chen, you smash it. You smash it hard. Let all the graduating senior brothers and sisters here see your bared teeth and claws, and let celebrities from all walks of life see your fierce and ferocious face. Upon hearing these words, Teacher Chen suddenly woke up in shock. This is not in private, but under everyone's noses. If he really does such a thing, who would dare to cooperate with him in the future? Which student dares to come to his class again? Once his behavior is exposed online, he can even imagine how netizens are crazy about him. In the information age, any unethical behavior done by a person can appear online in the blink of an eye, and even expand its impact. Losing one's job is a matter of minutes. Many investors, including some celebrities and directors, looked at Lu Xuan in surprise. Lu Xuan not only looks handsome and has an extraordinary temperament, but also handles things in an orderly manner and remains calm in the face of danger. Teacher Chen dared not move anymore and stood awkwardly in place, regretting why he had jumped out just now. Is this still Lu Xuan? Is this still the timid Lu Xuan who always hesitates in the face of things? Alright, that's all for this matter. At this moment, a woman stood up from her position and turned slowly towards Lu Xuan. The woman was wearing a deep V-shaped skirt with a light yellow lace edge, exuding a noble and elegant demeanor. Her eyes under her eyebrows were clear and bright, like a pool of secluded water, and she walked gracefully towards Lu Xuan. Lu Xuan also looked more carefully. The woman's figure was as provocative as a devil, with concave and convex curves. Her waist was slender, and her thin lips were as delicate as rose petals. A tear mole on the corner of her right eye made her oval face look like a lotus in water. As soon as a woman stands up, she has the power to dominate the crowd. Even the female celebrities present now feel that they have completely lost to this woman in terms of appearance and temperament. Even Luo Lily, who was not far away, felt a sense of powerlessness when she saw this woman. How could there be such a beautiful woman? No, this should be called a fairy, right? Lu Xuan was constantly stared at by this woman, feeling very uncomfortable. He frowned and said, "Why are you staring at me all this time? Don't you keep looking at me, too?" The woman smiled brightly. Lu Xuan was speechless. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Unmarried Wife. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Unmarried wife. Lu Xuan was too lazy to argue with this woman. He still has 2 minutes to clock in, there's no reward beyond this time. Lu Xuan's enthusiasm for checking in is like when he used to clock in on time every day during Ding Talk online classes, and he never allowed himself to be late for any behavior. Seeing that Lu Xuan was about to leave, the woman reached out and grabbed him, asking, "Where are you going?" "It's none of your business." Lu Xuan became a bit impatient and shook off the woman's hand as he walked onto the stage. The woman looked at Lu Xuan's back and said strangely, "Why doesn't it concern me? I'm your fiancé A.E. Lu Xuan." "What?" "Everyone." At this moment, the world quieted down. The theater, which was originally a bit noisy, suddenly became completely silent. All the celebrities present, including the school leaders, know who this woman really is and what kind of background she has. Ni Meng. Ranking in the top 10 on the list of female billionaires. People not only look as beautiful as immortals, but also have obtained a doctoral degree, a proper national goddess. Ni Meng has just celebrated her 22nd birthday, and before that, no one had heard of her having a fiancé. What's even more incredible is that this fiancé is actually a prospective graduate of the Drama Academy. Do you want it to be so outrageous? How could this be possible? I don't believe it. Luo Lily couldn't believe it was true. She widened her eyes and looked at Ni Meng, asking, "If you were his fiancé, why did he have to be with me before? And he was still with me for 2 whole years. Is Lu Xuan a blind person? Who is a swan that cannot be distinguished? Besides, how could a poor boy like Lu Xuan possibly have any social connections with the fairies in the sky?" Ni Meng only had Lu Xuan in her eyes, with her hands on her back, her smiling eyes curved and her body slightly tilted forward. With a slight examination, she said, "Yes, why?" She also wants to know why Lu Xuan was with Luo Lily before. Luo Lily immediately looked at Lu Xuan, her attitude was not polite at all, and she questioned, "Lu Xuan, tell me why you still want to be with me when you have a fiancé, tell me quickly." Lu Xuan had just regained his senses and looked at Ni Meng with some surprise. He also just remembered that this seems to be his fiancé who signed in. Although people are quite beautiful, my wish to become a scumbag seems to be coming to naught. For some reason, Lu Xuan suddenly felt regretful for the 900 million girls. Missing him, a talented and attractive man, was a great regret in life. Countdown to clock in. 10, 9. Oh no. Upon hearing the prompt sound in his mind, Lu Xuan suddenly woke up and ran towards the stage. Successful check.in. Rewards for Parallel World Song, Quiet and Piano Piece, to Alice. Lu Xuan finally breathed a sigh of relief. Although the reward may seem insignificant, it's just a perfect performance of 2 songs, but it's always better than nothing. Many people have been fascinated by Lu Xuan's operation. How did he manage to get to the stage? Ni Meng said strangely, "What are you doing on stage? Do you want to perform?" As soon as these words were spoken, Luo Lily sneered and said, "Cut, even if he wants to perform, he needs someone to cooperate with him. Is it difficult for him to perform a solo performance on stage alone? Let's hurry down and not delay the students who are preparing to perform later." Luo Lily didn't forget how she got down. Now that Lu Xuan is making a fool of herself on stage, she naturally wants to retaliate when there is a chance. Zhou Chen spoke up and said, "I heard that Lu Xuan likes playing the piano, doesn't he? He doesn't have the money to buy a piano, so he can only hang out at school every day. There happens to be a piano on stage, why not let him give it a try?" "Shut up." Ni Meng glanced at the two of them, her beautiful eyes cold and slightly chilly. Zhou Chen and Luo Lily immediately dared not speak up. Lu Xuan and his companions were used to mocking, so they habitually spoke with a few sarcastic words. Faced with female tycoons like Ni Meng who have both beauty and strength, they can only obediently keep silent. When Ni Meng looked at Lu Xuan, a smile reappeared on her face and she said, "Come down, let's go home." She didn't believe in Lu Xuan, but felt that there was no need to waste time on such things. Well, then I'll give it a try. Lu Xuan smiled and leaned forward a little to show his respect, saying, "We've been delayed for a few minutes." Lu Xuan was originally on stage to clock in and get rewards, and was worried about how to increase his popularity. Unexpectedly, Zhou Chen and Luo Lily handed him a pillow. Pretending to be forced is a sacred thing. Before becoming a lucky traveler, Lu Xuan had fantasized about dressing up in ancient times and using modern knowledge to change the ancient living environment, thus having countless beautiful wives and living a happy and beautiful life. Although he is now in a parallel world, which is far from his fantasy, Lu Xuan is not at all panicked. After all, he is a handsome guy who has been cheating. Teacher Chen watched from the audience, with a series of sneers in his heart. Lu Xuan's piano skills were just average, and he couldn't even reach the level of performing on stage. Of course, being able to see Lu Xuan's joke is also equivalent to avenging the one shot just now. Damn it, this kind of person is actually the fiancé of Ni Meng goddess. Has God gone blind? That's right, Xian is so handsome and charming. Where does Ni Meng deserve him? Sister, did you misunderstand what I meant? How come? If only you men can hate Lu Xuan and like Ni Meng, then we women won't be allowed to like Lu Xuan and hate Ni Meng. Under the stage, both boys and girls automatically split into one camp. One is the beautiful girl camp that supports the Lu Xuan party. One is the male camp that supports Ni Meng's party. A girl stood up and shouted, "Lu Xuan, come on, kick your fiancé AE. We'll be your wife." Lu Xuan had just wiped away the sweat from his palms when he heard these words, and his forehead was sweating. Sister, do you want to be so fierce? Ni Meng just looked at Lu Xuan with a smile on her face, quietly waiting for him to play, feeling very excited in her heart. Lu Xuan adjusted his breathing and began to enter a state, gently touching the piano keys with his fingertips. Ding ding ding. A melodious sound of the piano drifted away, making everyone present's mood clear and cheerful. Just such a small beginning, but the smile on Teacher Chen's face suddenly came to an end. Zhou Chen was also stunned, staring blankly at Lu Xuan sitting upright on stage, playing the music seriously. An art teacher, a wealthy child from a wealthy family, they can all hear how wonderful and pleasant this song is. The melody seems to have a magical power that can make angry and troubled people gradually become calm and peaceful, all their troubles disappear, and they gradually immerse themselves in this beautiful world. Only happiness, only tranquility. No worries, no pain. It's like entering a true paradise. Girls who hope to get love begin to yearn for love. Boys who hope to live a better life also begin to believe in life. To Ni Meng's ears, Lu Xuan's song seemed to depict a girl, portraying a gentle, beautiful, innocent and lively image of a young girl. The joyful and lively rhythm of the music expresses the beauty and innocence of a young girl. This is did he create a song for a girl. As there was a rhythmic scene in the middle, like a child getting angry and troubled, Ni Meng looked at Lu Xuan with a hint of dissatisfaction in her eyes. But the melody quickly became joyful again, and after listening to it, it was uplifting, like a pure cup of water flowing into the heart, filled with sweetness. Gradually the music ends in a very beautiful and gentle atmosphere. But everyone has not yet come out of that paradise, and everyone is immersed in that beautiful story. I'm pretending. The performance is over, thank you all. Lu Xuan spoke into the microphone to wake everyone up, then stood up and bowed slightly, expressing gratitude for listening. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Niubi system. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Niubi system. In the Magic Theater. This holy land in the minds of art students has been silent for a long time. Standing on the stage with a smile, Lu Xuan felt a bit awkward at the moment. Do I play well or not? Why is everyone silent? This is Belle Saint's song. Don't people in this world like it? Pop 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 pop. At this moment, a burst of applause echoed in the Magic Theater, and many people cheered and shouted. Especially the celebrities and school leaders in the front row, their expressions were particularly excited, as if seeing a timeless classic music being born. Oh my goodness, this fairy song is so beautiful. I didn't expect Lu Xuan to be so handsome and talented. I fell in love with him. Although the music sounds great, Ni Meng must be mine. Everyone present couldn't contain the joy in their hearts, making the originally quiet Magic Theater boil instantly. Seeing everyone shouting Lu Xuan's name, Luo Lily couldn't help but feel a bit satisfied and muttered, "Isn't it just an ordinary piece of music? It's worth promoting and playing like that. I think this piece of music is just average." Beside her, some celebrities heard Luo Lily's words, but only glanced blankly at her and didn't say anything. Zhou Chen blushed. He was not as ignorant as Luo Lily. From the moment Lu Xuan played this piece of music, he knew how extraordinary it was. Teacher Chen also looked embarrassed and secretly glared at Luo Lily, a foolish woman with no brain or artistic talent. "Chen, can you tell me if this song is ordinary?" Luo Lily felt a sense of non-existent when she saw that no one agreed with her. She pulled Zhou Chen's clothes and asked. "Stop talking." Zhou Chen bit his teeth and let out a low drink, his eyes almost spewing fire. "Do you still think it's not embarrassing enough?" Luo Lily kept her mouth wide open, feeling very aggrieved. Now she doesn't even help Chen. Ni Meng stared at Luo Lily. Is this original song by Lu Xuan written for her? After all, Lu Xuan's first love was this woman. Thinking of this, Ni Meng felt somewhat disappointed in her heart. Luo Lily also noticed Ni Meng's gaze, but she dared not look directly at Ni Meng and hid beside her, avoiding her gaze. In the front row, a professor stood up excitedly and looked at Lu Xuan on stage. He asked, "Young man, did you write this song yourself?" Lu Xuan. Since this is a parallel world, if he admits it, shouldn't there be any problem? Lu Xuan smiled seriously and said, yes. The professor rubbed his hands excitedly and asked, "Can you ask, what is the name of this piece of music?" "To Alice." Lu Xuan answered with a smile. "To Alice." The professor murmured repeatedly in his mouth, and suddenly thought of something. He turned his head to look at Ni Meng, his smile somewhat meaningful. Not only the professor, but also many celebrities in the front row looked at Ni Meng. Ni Meng was completely stunned. She stood in place, with the spotlight shining on her, appearing somewhat silly and cute, completely unlike the powerful women who dominate the market. So the name of this song is, "To Alice." After learning the name of this song, Ni Meng's beautiful face couldn't help but blush twice, and her delicate hands intertwined, making her feel a bit nervous inside. Lu Xuan felt a little strange in his heart. Why did everyone look at Ni Meng? He played a timeless classic music, shouldn't he be the protagonist with a perfect score? Praise me. Praise me quickly. Unable to wait for everyone's praise, Lu Xuan sighed in his heart, feeling that today's forced pretense was a bit of a failure. He planned to go back to the dormitory to sleep and get up tomorrow to sign in and clock in. Seeing that Lu Xuan was about to leave, Ni Meng immediately followed and asked, "Where are you going?" "Go back to the dormitory to sleep," Lu Xuan replied wearily. "Oh." Ni Meng didn't know what to say and followed behind Lu Xuan, lowering her head and stepping on Lu Xuan's footprints as she walked forward. After leaving the Magic Theater, Ni Meng broke the tranquility and whispered, "Lu Xuan, thank you." "Ah." Lu Xuan's face was full of questions. He stopped and turned around. He was about to ask Xia what he was doing, but he was hit into his arms by Ni Meng, who didn't have time to break. "Oh, my goodness." Ni Meng let out a painful scream, feeling that her embrace was broad and powerful. For a moment, she only wanted to lie here. Lu Xuan said with a black line on his face, "Don't reach out and touch me around. How dare you eat my tofu, brother?" I. Ni Meng blushed and quickly took a step back, coming out of Lu Xuan's arms. Her ears and neck were a bit hot. Lu Xuan was happy, but he felt that this woman was quite interesting. "I thought Ni Meng was a strong and domineering woman, but I didn't expect her to have a cute side as a shy little woman." "What did you just thank me for doing?" Lu Xuan returned to the main topic and asked. "Thank you for writing the song for me." Ni Meng looked up at Lu Xuan, her clear and bright eyes filled with emotion. Lu Xuan. What? What is it? Ni Meng explained, "My English name is Alice, should Uncle Lu have told you?" "I'm going." Lu Xuan was a bit confused on the spot. "Isn't this too coincidental?" Lu Xuan chuckled and said, "Oh, yes, yes. Who made you my fiancé AE?" When he said these words, Lu Xuan almost wanted to cry. What's going on with this horse riding? The fiancé AE who signed in knows even my family members. Ding. At this moment, Lu Xuan's phone rang. He took it out and saw that the number displayed was his father. "Hey, Dad, you miss me?" Lu Xuan didn't feel unfamiliar, because in his memory, his family loved him deeply. Dad asked on the other end of the phone, "I heard Ni Meng has already told you about it." Lu Xuan's face was a bit awkward and he asked in response, "Is it about his fiancée AE?" "Yeah." Dad sighed and said with some guilt, "Xiao Xian, I'm sorry. Our family and Ni's family are in opposition, and Dad didn't mean to keep it from you. We just hope that during your growth, you won't be blinded by vulgar money." Upon hearing these words, Lu Xuan exclaimed in shock, "Dad, do you mean that our family is not an ordinary family?" Lu Xuan was completely confused. "So, Dad saw that I was about to graduate and enter society, so he confessed everything to me and asked me to go back and inherit the family business. Cowardly system. Half an hour ago, I was still a poor boy. Half an hour later, have you changed my life fate?" Lu Xuan couldn't help but feel a little heartbroken for his predecessor. "You have spent the poor days for me, let me enjoy the prosperous life for you in the future." Lu Xuan said happily, "Dad, do you want me to go back and inherit the family property?" "Okay, no problem. I'll go back tomorrow." It's not." Dad felt embarrassed and said, "Our family is indeed quite wealthy, but Dad's company has been experiencing poor cash flow recently. Dad is trying to find a solution. I suddenly remembered that your grandfather and the Ni family have a baby relationship, so I brought this up to the Ni family. The Ni family has also expressed that if Ni Meng thinks you are a good fiancé, then they will admit to being a child and help your father and me get through this difficult time." "You're selling your son." Lu Xuan felt a bit like crying. He thought he could live a vulgar life like a wealthy person from now on, but he didn't expect this to happen in the end. I'm sorry. Dad apologized repeatedly and said, "You just look everywhere. If it really doesn't work, Dad can think of other ways. Don't feel any pressure. Dad won't tell you for now. There's something else to do here, so hang up first. Remember to eat on time and pay more attention to your health. Dudu." After hanging up the phone, Lu Xuan sighed and looked up at the night sky. There is only one lonely crescent moon hanging high in the night sky, seemingly telling him that a handsome and stylish man like you can overcome various difficulties and live a happy and fulfilling life. Awesome, end of this chapter. Chapter 5. Does it resemble the shape of loving you? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Does it resemble the shape of loving you? Lu Xuan glanced at the time on his phone and found that it was already past 10 p.m. So, Lu Xuan said to Ni Meng, "It's so late now. Do you have a place to stay? If not, I'll take you to open a room. Anyway, she's also her own fiancé AE, so we have to arrange things properly. Yes, I have a house in Tangchenipin. Ni Meng's cheeks were slightly hot as she puffed up her brave voice and said, since you have already graduated, when do you plan to move over? Lu Xuan. The doctor said my stomach is not good and asked me to eat more soft rice. Lu Xuan originally intended to reach the pinnacle of his life through his own efforts, but now he thinks my fiancé AE is so awesome, why bother working hard with a hammer? Although I can't be a scumbag anymore, being a soft guy seems pretty good, hee. As a person, the most important thing is happiness. After thinking it through, Lu Xuan's whole face was radiant and he said, then I'll go back to the dormitory and pack up some things. Well, I'll accompany you. Ni Meng was originally very nervous and worried that Lu Xuan would refuse. Now hearing that Lu Xuan agreed to live in, his heart was instantly filled with joy. The two of them slowly walked down the school road, while Ni Meng occasionally peeked at Lu Xuan, wanting to carefully observe the man's changes as he grew up. Lu Xuan said strangely, why have you been peeking at me all this time? No, it's nothing. Ni Meng immediately shifted her gaze to the front and walked solemnly. Lu Xuan shook his head helplessly and asked, it seems like we only met today, right? Are you just leaving with me like this? Are you not afraid at all? Although he has a system, Ni Meng is not at least a robot fiancé AE, right? How could there be no defense against him at all? Ni Meng hesitated for a moment and asked, have you forgotten all about it? Forgot what? Lu Xuan was confused. Ni Meng looked at Lu Xuan's puzzled expression and felt a little disappointed. But she also heard about how Lu Xuan came over these years, and a smile appeared on her face again. She asked softly, do you remember that there was a chubby little girl following you all along when you were a child? Lu Xuan searched for his memories and suddenly woke up, saying, are you the runny-nosed worm who loves to cry? What kind of snot bug? It's really unpleasant to hear. Ni Meng spat and reached out to lightly pat Lu Xuan's shoulder. When she saw the scar on Lu Xuan's arm, her eyes showed heartache and she said, when I was chased by a dog back then, it was you who rushed forward to protect me without hesitation, which ultimately led to you being bitten by the dog. It seems like I took you to steal fruits. Lu Xuan felt a bit embarrassed. At that time, he just thought that if the slug was bitten by a dog, he would have to be beaten when he got home. Fortunately, he cleverly saved the runny nose at that time. Although he was bitten by a dog, he at least gained sympathy and went home not only without being beaten, but also with candy to eat. At the same time, it also planted a seed of love for the soft rice life many years later. So, actually you see me on the first floor, but I have already reached the 5th floor. Ni Meng pursed her lips slightly and tasted a bit of food. It seems like you didn't recognize me just now, and you didn't explain why you wanted to be with a green tea. It's not too dirty, she said, I. Lu Xuan didn't react for a moment, hesitated for a while, and said, I'm accumulating love experience. I thought if I could meet you again in many years, I would give you all my love. Humph, I don't believe it. Then take a look at the scar on my arm again, does it look like I love you? Seeing Ni Meng's face secretly smiling, Lu Xuan breathed a sigh of relief and finally managed to escape the disaster. But he also understood that the system was just to reunite them, not to actually give him a brainless robot fiancé AE. Arriving downstairs in the dormitory, Lu Xuan talked to the dormitory manager and said that Ni Meng was here to help carry bags, so the dormitory manager let them in. Your dormitory is quite clean, it's completely different from what I imagined. Ni Meng entered the boys' dormitory for the first time and looked around curiously, asking, which bed is yours? Sleeping trough. Ni Meng. At this moment, a man who had just taken a shower walked out of the bathroom. When he saw that the woman in the dormitory was Ni Meng, he was completely stunned. Lu Xuan immediately introduced, "This is my roommate, Chu." Before he could finish speaking, Chu Qiao excitedly approached and wanted to shake hands. He introduced himself and said, "Hello Ni Meng, my name is Chu Qiao. Clear Chu, the bridge of the overpass." Upon seeing this, Lu Xuan immediately became displeased and patted Chu Qiao's hand, unable to express himself, saying, "I see you are a bridge that has been torn down by crossing a river." "Hello." Ni Meng politely smiled and stood obediently beside Lu Xuan. "You too." Chu Qiao saw that these two people seemed to have an undisclosed secret, and his eyes widened with disbelief. "This is my fiancée Ni Meng," Lu Xuan proudly introduced. "This is impossible." Chu Qiao wailed. "This is true." Ni Meng smiled and took Lu Xuan's arm, saying, "I am his fiancée. Oh my goodness." Chu Qiao was howling and couldn't believe it was true. National goddess Ni Meng, surprisingly, is Lu Xuan's fiancée. "I'm afraid it's going to blow up the hot search on Weibo." Lu Xuan was too lazy to pay attention to this incompetent and angry guy, so he climbed onto the bed and picked up a fat cat that was sleeping soundly. He actually doesn't have anything to take away, at most only this cat he picked up on the roadside. Meow, meow, meow. The cat was awakened and looked bewildered, saying, "Dried little fish. Where's my dried little fish? Sleeping slot." Lu Xuan was so scared that he released his right hand and looked at the cat with a frightened expression on his face. Why did this cat suddenly speak human language? Have you been possessed by a fairy? Meow, it hurts me. Why are you shoveling feces? The cat screamed and then glared at Lu Xuan. Wow, is this your cat? It's so cute. Ni Meng's heart melted when she saw such a cute cat, and she squatted down to pick it up. Don't touch it. Lu Xuan quickly grabbed Ni Meng. This cat has a problem. Ni Meng looked strange. Why is Lu Xuan so nervous? Lu Xuan swallowed his throat and looked carefully at the cat, asking, "Are you a ball? Otherwise." The cat tilted its head and asked a rhetorical question. Chu Qiao next to him said strangely, "What are you doing, Lao Lu? Why are you talking to a cat? Are you stupid? Can't you hear me?" Lu Xuan looked at Chu Bridge and then at Ni Meng. "What did you hear?" Ni Meng also felt a bit strange. "No, it's nothing." Lu Xuan spoke dryly, looking down at the cat rubbing against his calf, feeling that the world had undergone earth-shattering changes. He can understand the words of his own cat. Dried small fish. I'm not happy without dried small fish. The cat angrily urged Lu Xuan to quickly dry the small fish and reached out its meaty paws to grab Lu Xuan's shoes. Lu Xuan finally understood now that with the system, his cat language instantly reached level 10. Look at my eyes, they are all eyes that love you, so, can you give me a recommended ticket? End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Reward 100 million renminbi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Reward 100 million renminbi. Cats are not kept in the dormitory, and Lu Xuan has always done a lot of covert work. In addition, cats do not like to jump outside, which saves Lu Xuan a lot of trouble. Due to the limited amount of money in his WeChat wallet, Lu Xuan stuffed the ball into his backpack and also stuffed a piece of cat food and snacks into it. Just eat a piece of dried fish, don't pull the rest, otherwise you'll starve to death in the future. Lu Xuan saw the ball biting the packaging bag and urgently pressed the ball's head, reminding him. Meow. I'll just eat one piece, not too much. The ball was meowing, but only Lu Xuan could understand its words. Ni Meng and Chu Qiao only heard the sound of meowing. Lu Xuan took out a small piece of dried fish and gave it to Qiu Qiu, praying that the system would quickly send him money tomorrow, otherwise he wouldn't be able to keep this fat cat. Lifting his backpack, Lu Xuan grinned and said, this cat really weighs a few pounds. Ni Meng watched as Lu Xuan bustled around, and then quickly led her out of the boys' dormitory, with a faint smile on her face that never disappeared. Walking to the parking lot, Lu Xuan also sat in the Rolls-Royce Phantom for the first time. It's great to have money. Lu Xuan leaned back on the comfortable leather chair and let out a sigh. Ni Meng sat in the driver's seat, started the car, and joked, "From then on, I'll take care of you all the time. You just be my little white face. Okay, sleep together tonight." Lu Xuan looked at Ni Meng with a smile and even looked up and down, smiling playfully. Ni Meng's cheeks turned red twice, and she glared at Lu Xuan before driving away. The car drove halfway. Suddenly, Ni Meng got off the car. Lu Xuan looked frightened and sweated profusely, as if he had been through a life-or-death crisis in a locked door. He said in a daze, "Do you usually drive by yourself? You can still live. It's really God's favor of you. Stop talking nonsense, you go drive." Ni Meng pinched Lu Xuan's arm in anger and explained, "I usually have a driver, but today is a special situation, so I asked her to leave work early and go home." Lu Xuan patted his chest and sat from the passenger seat to the driver's seat, holding the steering wheel as if holding on to his own life. This feeling is the most tangible. Women can't believe anything. Ni Meng held the ball in her arms, her face full of anger, and she pinched the big faceplate that was holding the ball with her tender lips. Lu Xuan was driving and seeing the ball nest in Ni Meng's arms seemed quite enjoyable, so he reached out and picked up the fat cat, throwing it into the back seat. "What are you doing?" Ni Meng said, slightly dissatisfied. "You can't just drive, can't you still masturbate the cat?" "I'm afraid it'll poop and pee on you," Lu Xuan explained solemnly. "Meow, I didn't, you're just being jealous." Chiu looked indignant, and after finishing speaking, he secretly reached his paw towards the snacks in his backpack. "Only dried fish can fill the scar on my cat's soul." Following the navigation, Lu Xuan quickly drove the car to the outside of Tang Chen's luxury residential area. Before I could drive in, the security guard in the community took the initiative to release it, clearly recognizing whose car it belonged to. "Park the car and follow Ni Meng to take the elevator up." Lu Xuan looked at the magnificent decoration around him and sighed in his heart that the power of money was so terrifying. However, with the system in place, Lu Xuan's mindset has undergone a revolutionary change. Wealth and beauty can no longer shake his moral compass, and a life of salted fish with soft rice is the king's way. Ni Meng unlocked the door with her fingerprints and gave a mysterious smile to Lu Xuan, saying, "There's still a surprise inside." "What surprise?" "A whip or a candle?" Along the way, while chatting with Ni Meng, Lu Xuan gradually became acquainted and made some small jokes. Ni Meng gave Lu Xuan a playful glance and took out a pair of men's slippers from the shoe cabinet in the storage room, placing them at Lu Xuan's feet. "That's it, I'm green now. How could a girl like you have men's slippers at home?" Lu Xuan said with a sad expression on his face. Ni Meng glared angrily at Lu Xuan and said, "These slippers have already been prepared for you. Alright, you can go to the living room and have a look. This surprise is sure to surprise you." Lu Xuan was a bit skeptical, but when he put it on, he realized that the slippers really fit well. "Well, I shouldn't doubt my fiancé A.E. Mysterious and mysterious." Lu Xuan muttered to himself, then walked into the living room and saw 3 women sitting on the sofa. Lu Xuan was stunned on the spot. What a familiar face. Sleeping slot. Big sister, second sister, third sister. Lu Xuan widened his eyes and looked shocked, even a little incredulous. Because the 3 women sitting here are all his sisters. Older sister, hi. Little brother, are you surprised or surprised? Are you surprised? The second sister's name is Lu Feifei, and she has a lively and outgoing personality. When she saw Lu Xuan appearing here, she laughed heartily and waved. The mature and steady elder sister's name is Lu Xuan. The graceful third sister's name is Lu Rongrong. And Lu Xuan is the only male in the family. How could you be here? Lu Xuan walked over with shock and even reached out to pat his second sister Lu Feifei's head. Well, it's real, not a dream. No big or small, even you dare to pat my head. Lu Feifei was immediately annoyed. Ni Meng also walked in holding the ball and looked at the four siblings with a smile on her face. Third sister Lu Rongrong has been close to Lu Xuan since she was young. She held Lu Xuan's arm and smiled, "Brother, this is already our home, of course we will be here." Lu Xuan. What? What does it mean? Sister Lu Xuan smiled gently and explained, "Dad should have confessed to you. Our family is not really bad, it's just four." Lu Xuan interrupted the elder sister and said expressionlessly, I understand. Let me not be blinded by vulgar money." However, Lu Xuan didn't actually have much feeling in his heart. Those who suffer are all predecessors. He has just arrived, and now the system is entangled with beautiful women. The days ahead are full of sweet fragrance, where is there any bitterness? Lu Feifei patted Lu Xuan's shoulder and said with a smile, "Brother, don't be angry. The sisters didn't mean to hide it from you. This is all my grandfather's pot. My grandfather hopes you can be more influenced by the scholarly atmosphere, instead of being tainted by the smell of money." Ha ha ha. Lu Xuan rolled his eyes and said, "So this is the trick of raising a poor man and a rich woman." Not really. Lu Feifei explained, "With a monthly living allowance of 2,000 yuan, your clothes are all bought for you by your sisters. They are all good brands, and your mother always secretly gives you a few thousand yuan. Don't think we don't know, Although I didn't tell Lu Xuan the truth, it definitely doesn't count as raising him in poverty. The money that should be given was still given in place by the family." Cough. Lu Xuan coughed twice. It was indeed like this. Lu Xuan said helplessly, "But now that my family has gone bankrupt, will my dream of becoming a wealthy second generation be shattered again?" "Don't worry, your dream of becoming a wealthy second generation hasn't been shattered." Lu Xuan smiled and comforted, "The only issue at home is the poor cash flow. It has been resolved now. As long as you are willing, you can go to the company to work now. After a few years, you can slowly enter the management team." Solved it. Lu Xuan exclaimed in shock, "How could Dad say he still needs the help of Ni Mingjia to get through this difficult time?" "Silly little brother, that's because Dad was afraid that you two wouldn't see each other for too long, and he was a bit unfamiliar, so he deliberately acted and pretended." Lu Rongrong shook her head and chuckled, "But our family does owe the Ni family a lot of money, but with our father's ability, he can repay this money quickly. You don't need to worry too much." Lu Xuan. Dad may also have graduated from a magic drama, right? After chatting for a while, Lu Xuan looked at Lu Xuan and asked, "You're also about to graduate. What are your plans next? Why don't you come to work at the company?" Don't. I have many plans, so I won't go to the company for now." Lu Xuan quickly shook his head to refuse, as he didn't want to be whipped by 996 or 007. On the surface, it may seem great to work in a company, but as long as you enter the management team, staying up late and working overtime is a common occurrence, and there is a lot of pressure. Life is better to be relaxed and leisurely. What are your plans? Tell me, Lu Feifei pursued. I plan to write songs, shoot movies, and so on. After all, I graduated from magic opera, so I have to do something that suits my profession, right? Lu Xuan didn't actually think of what to do. After all, he can get system rewards by checking in and out every day. He just needs to be a good fish. Yes, did you write to Alice for Ni Meng? Come on, recruit me truthfully. Lu Rongrong remembered this and looked at Lu Xuan with a smile on her face. This classic song appeared and was posted online shortly after, and now it has climbed directly to the Weibo hot search list. Lu Xuan felt a little embarrassed in his heart. Can he say that this was a crooked and upright move? Right. Lu Xuan sighed in his heart and admitted that it was okay, so there was no need to continue explaining. Facing the ambiguous gaze of the three sisters, Meng's tender face was immediately covered with a layer of clouds. Taking a shower, Lu Xuan changed into pajamas and lay on the bed, with his hands resting on his head, looking at the ceiling. Today is truly a dreamy day. First time here, although the beginning was a bit troublesome, now it is always happy. Just I actually have to sleep in separate rooms with Meng now. Is there any natural reason left? This is my fiancé AE. How to cultivate emotions without sleeping together. Really? A new day has arrived, please host complete the check.in as soon as possible. Just as midnight arrived, the system sent a prompt sound. Lu Xuan signed without hesitation. God, give me the money. I'm going to ho-ho. Successful check.in. Reward 100 million renminbi. Ah. Lu Xuan breathed a sigh of relief. Comfortable now. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Clock in rewards a wish. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 8. Has the fairy dance been played like this now? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Has the fairy dance been played like this now? Me see foot therapy. Inside sat a woman with heavy makeup and bright makeup, in her early 30s, tirelessly trimming her nails. What kind of door should I open early in the morning? Even this damn weather can heat up a person. The woman is the owner of this shop. As there is no air conditioning at the entrance, she can only rely on a fan to resist the hot temperature. The heat waves blown out by the fan make her mood gradually become irritable. We need to find something to vent our anger. Just a glance from the corner of her eye, the landlady looked out of the door in surprise. When she saw a perfect and impeccable face, she felt that the temperature was slowly rising again, making her restless all over. When the landlady saw this young man walking towards her like a banished fairy, her whole heart thumped wildly, as if stars were shining in her eyes, slowly indulging in that irresistible beauty. Little brother, you came to drink tea so early. The first guest today can be free. The landlady stood up with a shy expression and warmly welcomed Lu Xuan, even wanting to reach out and hold on to his arm to prevent him from slipping away. Lu Xuan was taken aback for a moment. The aunt was so enthusiastic that he felt a bit embarrassed. But he's here for business and needs to clock in quickly. We have reached the target location, successful check.in. Reward the host with a wish, valid until December 2000, noon. Lu Xuan finally breathed a sigh of relief. This place was not near Pudong, and it took him over 50 minutes by car. Fortunately, he managed to clock in successfully in the last few minutes. I don't know what this system is trying to do, can't we just let him clock in at home? Why do you have to run out? Auntie, you misunderstood. I was just passing by. The check.in has been completed, and Lu Xuan is embarrassed to smile and ready to leave. Auntie. Passing by. The landlady suddenly felt a little unhappy in her heart. She grabbed Lu Xuan's arm and didn't let her go, pulling her inside. She dripped coquettishly and said, "Oh my, little brother, don't be shy. The weather is so hot, come in and have a cup of tea to quench your thirst. I promise you will be satisfied." When she was holding on to Lu Xuan, the landlady was amazed at how good his skin was and how slippery it felt to the touch. The landlady couldn't help but touch a few more times. Lu Xuan noticed the boss's little gesture and felt a bit nauseous, but his face was still full of smiles and he refused, no need, auntie, really no need. I still have very important things to do, don't trouble you. Speaking, Lu Xuan was still struggling to leave, thinking to himself that in this world, even toads wanted to eat dragon meat. As soon as the boss saw that Lu Xuan insisted on leaving, she flipped her face faster than flipping through a book and shouted, "Don't leave. You can't leave until you finish your tea today." Lu Xuan. What? He now understands that this woman is craving for my body. Chiu was already so tired that he stuck out his little tongue. Now he was being pulled and tugged at by the boss's wife, so angry that he turned around and attacked her fiercely. Ha! Get lost to this cat. Chiu is angry and even shows his nails, indicating that he is very aggressive. Don't provoke me. The boss lady is not afraid of this little cat at all. She is chubby, how much combat power can she have? Little brother, don't struggle anymore. No matter how hard you struggle, it's useless. The landlady laughed and pulled at Lu Xuan, almost sticking her whole body up. Lu Xuan wished the system could give him a Wu Song possession and punch this female tiger to death. Wife, what's wrong? What happened? At this moment, a man wearing a vest returned outside the shop. When he saw this scene, his face was full of evil energy, and he lifted his sleeve to reveal the blue dragon tattoo on his left arm, showcasing his spiritual temperament. The landlady saw that her man had returned and knew that she planned to drink tea and make soup, so she had to implement Plan B. Immediately after, the landlady reached out and tugged at the collar, giving her man a glare and shouting loudly, "Nonsense, nonsense, someone is not being polite. Sleeping slut." The man received the signal and understood it instantly. He came up with full understanding and grabbed Lu Xuan's clothes, staring at him and saying, "How dare you step on a horse and disrespect my woman in broad daylight? What do you think should be done about this, whether it's public or private? Personally, I suggest you go private." Chiu originally wanted to get angry, but seeing this man being so hot and fierce, he had to cover his head and hide in Lu Xuan's arms. Lu Xuan. What? Nima. Who is the one who offended me? Who steps on a horse is the real toad? Are fairy dances played like this now? Occupy both color and wealth. Uncle, don't you see how old your wife is? Do I need to disrespect her? Lu Xuan said with a blank expression, also, I just passed by here. She came up and grabbed my arm to touch me. Personally, I suggest you go home and chat with your wife to see if you can pick this HLBE grassland above your head. How dare you speak hard? The man became angry when he heard that he had a hat on his head and swung his fist directly at it. He's going to ruin this face today. Seeing this, Lu Xuan was stunned for a moment and quickly picked up the ball to block in front of him. Meow. Chiu cursed loudly that Lu Xuan was not human, and used a fragile kitten as a shield. However, a lingering shadow flashed by. A fleshy paw instantly hit the man's fist, forcing him to take a step back. Ha! Don't provoke the cat, my cat is very unhappy now. Chiu warned angrily. Hiss. The man took a cold breath and felt a broken pain in his right finger bone, trembling slightly. Did I get beaten by a cat? The boss's wife secretly cursed this man for being useless, not even a cat. So, the landlady could only take her own action and mournfully exclaimed, hitting someone. Hitting someone, almost killing someone. Come and take a look at the neighbors around you, my husband is about to be killed. Lu Xuan. What a foolish behavior. Nowadays, there are surveillance cameras everywhere. Do you really think this low-level framing can have an effect? If the situation gets big, if the government files an investigation, this foot bath shop may not even be able to open. This kind of unscrupulous shop can't withstand investigation. However, after the boss's shout, it did attract many people to stop outside. After all, watching the excitement, who thinks things are big? I'm afraid this melon is too small. The landlady immediately explained the whole story to everyone, with a face full of pain, and began to recount her tragic experience this morning. "Everyone, come and evaluate, everyone, he is him. This handsome-looking beast in uniform, look at me running over to disrespect me alone in the store. I don't agree, he'll just tear my clothes. If it weren't for my husband coming back in time to stop me, I might have lost my innocence." Sob. "Now you can see, my husband has been beaten to the ground by him. How can we live these days?" End of this chapter. Chapter 9. No one will pay attention to the truth. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. No one will pay attention to the truth. After listening to these words, Lu Xuan was stunned. What is acting? This step on the horse is at the Oscar level. Professional. Delicate. Bully. This one howl, 2 cries, 3 sniffles, makes me want to slap myself twice. What's wrong with people nowadays? Playing pranks on good women in broad daylight. Is this a failed attempt at physical fitness? Report to the police. Just report to the police and arrest him. If there's anything else, we'll wait until the public comes. This little red guy is also despicable. With such a face, he doesn't play happy ball and comes here to harm his wife. It's really fake. Such a handsome little brother, how could he have done such a thing? The surrounding crowd began to point fingers at Lu Xuan, and some even took out their phones to record this scene, intending to post it online for exposure, so that this lewd man could be tried by the people of the whole country. As soon as the landlady heard that someone was going to report to the police, she felt anxious and hurriedly said, "Little girl, how could this be impossible? Now that we know people's faces but not our hearts, some people may have twisted their minds and become very abnormal." Upon hearing this, the little girl also believed it and angrily accused Lu Xuan. Lu Xuan is a bit speechless. What's wrong with everyone now? At the beginning, just open your mouth and rely entirely on editing. Could you please have long eyes? This man is standing there lively, where did I hit him and lay him down? Lu Xuan sighed and reminded the landlady, saying, "Ah, auntie, look at your husband. He doesn't know how to cooperate at all. He's still standing there dumbfounded. The performance of this play is not good, it's too low-level and unprofessional." The landlady turned around and glared at her own man. "Why are you so stupid? What are you still staring at? Lie down." The man immediately reacted and lay on the ground, moaning and groaning. At this moment, the landlady confidently said, "You see now. Not only did you disrespect me, but you also hit my husband. It's really unreasonable." "Well, I saw." Lu Xuan nodded solemnly and said, "However, your husband looks like a dog lying on the ground. Come on, spit out your tongue and hold your hand for me. I'll reward you with a sausage later." As he spoke, Lu Xuan lowered his head and reached out, looking amused. "Kid, are you seeking death? At least men also have dignity." Upon hearing Lu Xuan's merciless mockery, he stood up and his eyes were filled with flames. Later, the man wanted to reach out and grab Lu Xuan's clothes, but when he saw the cat growling in a low voice, he had to change his hand to his mouth. The man exclaimed indignantly, "You all came to judge me. It's him, this little white face, who harasses my wife every day. He even started today. If I hadn't just returned to the store, my wife, such a weak woman, would have been ruined by this scumbag. Alright, come on, stop shouting. Aren't you just immortals dancing with money? The last thing I need is money." Lu Xuan also became impatient and looked at the landlady, saying calmly, "Release your hand." The landlady didn't want to let go, but when she saw that all her men nodded, she reluctantly let go. "WeChat or Alipay?" The man lowered his voice and threatened, "This matter will take at least 10,000 to solve. You should go and scan the front desk code yourself, otherwise you won't be able to leave this door today." Line. Lu Xuan sneered and tidied up his clothes. He held the ball in his left hand and reached into his pocket with his right hand to pick it up. The landlady and the man exchanged a glance, knowing that sometimes the money comes so easily and casually. Just when both husband and wife thought that Lu Xuan was going to take out his phone to scan the code, however, Lu Xuan took out a 1 yuan coin from his pocket and with a flick of his thumb, the coin hit the man directly. Lu Xuan chuckled and said, "There's no such thing as 10,000, but there's 1 yuan. I'll give you a reward." Dingling. The coin fell to the ground, making a crisp sound, and the man's face gradually became twisted and ferocious. "I see that you don't want to live today." The man was furious, and as he rushed towards Lu Xuan, his mind recalled his youth on the street. A group of people, a knife, a cigarette, even in the face of thousands of soldiers and horses, dare to stick your neck and straighten your chest to touch the other person, and see who will get the most vicious beating in the end. Lu Xuan remained calm in the face of danger. His handsome face was calm and composed, and he picked up the ball and stood in front of him. Keeping a cat for 1,000 days, using a cat for a while, now is the time. Meow. The ball opened its mouth, revealing its sharp teeth, and let out a fierce howl. The man instinctively stopped, his face a bit unnatural. Just now, the big fat cat slapped his hand and it still hurts. What? You still want to hit someone? Don't think that being handsome can do whatever you want. The landlady is so angry that she didn't get any money, and now she's not getting any money either. After saying that sentence, the landlady even kicked a man. What kind of coward did I marry when I stepped on the horse? It's not good in bed, what's even worse after getting out of bed? Is there any way for someone else's wife to still want to hit someone after performing indecent acts? Everyone, call the police, block him, don't let him run away. Girl, what happened? Can you tell me? Harmful, what else can there be? Such a handsome little brother, in broad daylight, actually sexually assaulted his wife. Now he has been caught by his husband and started causing trouble. After listening to these words, looking around at the righteous masses who were indignant and fighting against injustice, Luo Lily and Zhou Chen were both a bit confused. Is Lu Xuan being so ugly and indecent? Isn't that delicate flower at home fragrant? Luo Lily only felt a bit nauseous. The boss lady was far behind her. What was the reason that allowed Lu Xuan, who had Ni Meng, to take that action? However, after a moment's thought, Luo Lily squinted and said, "This is a good opportunity." What good opportunity? Zhou Chen was actually enjoying watching the play. Unexpectedly, when he came out to accompany Luo Lily on the street for a while, he came across Lu Xuan being jumped by a fairy. First, he recorded a short video and posted it on his social circle, Lihihi. Luo Lily sneered and said, "Isn't Lu Xuan climbing up the big tree of Ni Meng now? Can you tell me how much impact this kind of disrespectful negative news will have on Ni Meng once it spreads online? Her company's stocks will all fall, right?" Zhou Chen was taken aback for a moment and said, "When the government investigates this kind of matter, we basically have a clear answer. When we clarify it online, no one will believe it. Nowadays, online public opinion is dominated by the Navy, how many netizens can be brainy?" Luo Lily disdained and said, "Think about it, even if the government comes out to clarify, as long as we let the Navy guide the netizens to other places, then this story can continue." The title is Ni Meng privately spends money to solve the illicit affair and personally cleans her fiancé's buttocks. At that time, even white can be smeared as black, which not only affects Ni Meng's company, but also questions Lu Xuan's character and morality, and people will not care about the truth of the matter. To put it strictly, he will definitely be banned by everyone, let alone able to survive in this circle. The Ni family will definitely cancel their marriage with him. At this point, Luo Lily looked at Zhou Chen and whispered, "This is the power of public opinion." After listening to these words, Zhou Chen felt a bit chilly. This chapter has been revised for a long time, which has caused a significant delay. Requesting recommended tickets, end of this chapter. Chapter 10. Making Wishes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Making Wishes. In today's information age, a picture or video, once maliciously edited by others and accompanied by some eye-catching headlines, can definitely attract huge attention. The pace of daily life nowadays is very fast, and everyone is very busy. The pressure of studying and working is like a mountain, making it rare for people to calm down and understand the ins and outs of something. For example, students have to memorize how many ancient poems, words, formulas, and complete homework and exams for many subjects in a day. They also have to find ways to break up with their girlfriends at school tomorrow morning. The person who has already come out to work is about to lie down and rest after a hard day's work. However, the leader called and had to hurriedly put on a piece of clothing and go out. A service industry personnel, facing all the difficulties faced by customers, can only apologize with a smile on their face. After a breakup, a salesperson still recommended products to customers with a smile on his face. After finishing instant noodles at night, he received a caring phone call from his family. At the moment he hung up, he couldn't help but burst into tears. Being human is not easy. A small concern, understanding at critical moments, and simple empathy. Perhaps it can make people calm down and explore and understand the various beauties that exist in this world. Instead of malicious speculation and vicious insults. Lu Xuan looked at the excited onlookers around him, and even some people came up to try to touch him, but he avoided them in time. Everyone, please calm down first. Lu Xuan was sweating profusely and quickly held the ball in his arms, shouting, "Since everyone suspects that I have acted impolitely towards this lady, I can call the police and let the public handle this matter. There are surveillance cameras nearby, and there is also one outside that can see the situation in the store. Everyone doesn't have to worry about me running away. The truth is what it will be." Upon hearing this, the masses also felt that what Lu Xuan said made sense. Indeed, there are surveillance cameras nearby, and once you call them up, the situation will come to light. Don't believe his words, everyone. The landlady's face changed and her heart became anxious. She wailed, "My fate is hard, and I will be falsely accused if someone disrespects me. I can't live these days anymore. There is no royal law in this world. Yes. Don't believe what he said. Can what I saw with my own eyes still be false?" The man stood up and quickly explained. Seeing the situation about to be reversed, Luo Lily immediately stood up and said in indignation, "Lu Xuan, I didn't expect you to be this kind of person." Lu Xuan. What? Where did you come from? Girl, are you? I am his classmate. Classmate. The landlady secretly thought to herself that the woman who suddenly appeared was actually a handsome guy's classmate. How will she continue to act next? Once it really gets to the point of reporting to the police, her store won't be able to continue and may even face punishment. No, absolutely not. When the landlady was about to calm things down, Luo Lily looked disgusted and said, "Lu Xuan, even if you have poor moral character and conduct in school, why do you still look like this in society? You've really disgraced our face in the magic show." Zhou Chen shook his head and sighed, agreeing, "That's right. The school used to not disclose your ugly behavior, so I didn't want to leave a disgraceful mark on your file. I didn't expect you to still be like this now." Sigh. The couple at the foot bath shop exchanged a glance, realizing that there was a grudge between them. As soon as the people around heard Luo Lily and Zhou Chen's words, their faces instantly changed. Does Lu Xuan still have a criminal record? Then we can't let him leave. Lu Xuan's eyebrows furrowed. He didn't expect Luo Lily and Zhou Chen to directly accuse him, but he wasn't a fool either. If such a thing were exposed online, not only would his reputation be bad, but even Ni Meng would be affected. We still need to leave evidence or something, at least if the situation is exposed, he will have evidence to respond to the public. System, is there any solution? Lu Xuan sighed in his heart, and now he can only find the system to solve it. If there are cheats left unused, it is purely a apology to oneself. The host still has one wish that is useless. The subtitle appeared in front of him, and Lu Xuan cursed at the dog system in secret. This horse stomping is clearly implying that he is using a wish to solve this terrible matter. So why did he come here and clock in today with all the fuss? Do you want to suffer? Please make a wish as soon as possible. Early wish will have an early effect. The system gave another cheap reminder. Lu Xuan looked speechless, wishing he hadn't figured out what to make yet. And I don't know if there will be another opportunity like this. How dare I use it so easily? But as everyone's emotions grew more and more excited, a few strong men came up and deliberately pressed their chests against him, their eyes full of provocation. A wave of anger inexplicably rose in Lu Xuan's heart. Are you all stepping on horses to force me, right? Okay. I want you to die. Make a wish. Give me a physique and strength that surpasses humanity. I will kill these blind fools. Lu Xuan silently pondered in his heart, his eyes becoming incredibly sharp. Damn it, I want to blacken it out. In the future, if anyone steps on a horse and doesn't reason with me, I will personally beat them down and reason with me. Lu Xuan originally only wanted to become a small global richest man, but now there is a large group of people coming up to force him to become black, so why is he hesitating for a moment? System. The system never expected that Lu Xuan, who had always been elegant, easygoing, and had a good temper, would be so angry at this moment. Now, even the system regrets forcing Lu Xuan. Ding! The system has received the host's wish, and super physique is being deployed. 10%, 20%. Lu Xuan felt that his body was slowly undergoing changes, which also represented his wishes. The system could help him achieve them. Angry emotions flooded his brain, and waves of outrageous force gradually flooded into his body. Lu Xuan's eyes also slowly changed. Sharp and cold. At this moment, the ball meowed twice, then jumped to the ground and disappeared in a flash. Lu Xuan still has a trace of rationality. He raised the ball and couldn't watch it being trampled to death. Hey, kid, don't touch me, otherwise I'll flip you on the ground later. Believe it or not. A strong man sneered and pushed Lu Xuan back a step. Lu Xuan, do you still want to run? Are you guilty of being a thief? Zhou Chen stood in front of Lu Xuan, sneering repeatedly. Lu Xuan saw the ball running to the counter to hide, and he didn't have that much worry in his heart. He looked up coldly and glanced at Zhou Chen. At just one glance, Zhou Chen felt like he was trapped in an ice cave. Cold. The piercing sensation of being cold to the bone. How could Lu Xuan have such a look in his eyes? Wish progress is 100%. Super physique has been deployed. ZZZZ. Someone heard the sound of electricity. In the hot summer, a cold wind blew outside even more. Bang! 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 Suddenly, several strong men surrounding Lu Xuan flew backwards and fell heavily to the ground, unconscious. Lu Xuan's eyes flashed with a murderous intent, ready to step over and kill these deliberately provoking flies. At this moment, the ball had already jumped onto Lu Xuan's shoulder, with something still in his mouth. Meow, there's something good, don't fight. Qiu Qiu quickly shouted to stop Lu Xuan from continuing to get angry. If you really want to kill someone, then Lu Xuan will be even more troublesome. A few strong men may not have expected that a cat saved their lives. This chapter has been revised, and I have also listened to the reader's suggestions for making a wish to solve this matter. I feel that it should not be written in such a plain and indifferent manner, but rather be ruthless to the end, shaping the protagonist's cold side. So, the next chapter will also be slightly modified and will not affect the reading. End of this chapter.